Right, so I know that everyone is going to ask me to make this video. Might as well get down with it. I want to say that I'll try to be as objective as possible because I know there's a lot of people that aren't from Romania and they just want to understand what's going on. So I won't give my personal opinions in this video. On the channel, I have given them in the past. Those of you that are loyal subscribers know what I already think. But I know there's a lot of people that the moment you give your opinion, they just shut their brain down and they stop listening to the rest of the video. So if I am to endorse either candidate, immediately half the audience just stops listening. And so I generally want to get my ideas across in this video. So if you are interested in who I will vote for, you have to follow me on my channel. You have to follow me on social media and you'll eventually find out. But let's talk a little bit about how did it got to this, right? Why was it that the mainstream candidate, the one that the entire mainstream media was supporting, didn't manage to get himself for the second runoff? So we're talking about Crin Antonescu. This was the guy that was supported by the Social Democrats, by the National Liberals, and by the ethnical minority party UDMR. If you don't know what these parties are, because you're not familiar with Romanian politics, the Social Democrats and the National Liberals allegedly are the left-leaning and the right-leaning parties of Romania, and they formed a coalition. And for the last couple of years, they've been running the country, so all of the important decisions, all of the legislation, it came from them. And also under their watch, the previous elections got cancelled. If you guys remember that, it was in the international news. Romania had cancelled elections. And the president under which these elections got cancelled were from the National Liberals. Like, he personally named some of the judges on the Constitutional Court. And as such, I think this is a historic and important event, the cancellations of elections. And a lot of people that I know, that I talk with on the street, not on the internet, as well as people that I speak online, were quite traumatized by this event. Like, they unironically didn't know what's happening. Now, I saw that the mainstream media didn't really focus on those people, but those people exist. And those people, as I mentioned, were absolutely traumatized by the fact that the elections got canceled. Most of them didn't accept the arguments, like they're aware of the reason why the elections got canceled, but they looked at what the media presented and they were like, well, this is insufficient for me. I don't like where this is going. And more importantly, a lot of them were also traumatized by the censorship. Like, recently, we had a lot of censorship, especially on social media, on TikTok. You have, like, now more mainstream media journalists saying, oh, we need to fact check, we need to combat disinformation, we need to... And it's like, well, journalists have gotten so many things wrong, especially during the pandemic, that most people don't think that they're capable enough to differentiate misinformation from good information. They're not even capable enough of predicting who's going to be on the second runoff. And so if they can't do all of those, like, why would we assume that they're able to fact check? So there have been a couple of journalists even that got suspended on social media. I think Mario Stuca was one of them. Another one was Cristoiu. Again, you don't have to agree with these people, but the direction that the nation was going towards more censorship, towards social media crackdown and control, well, it turns out that they made those decisions without asking the people. Like, at no point did they decide, well, what do the people want? Do you guys want censorship, or do you guys want more free speech? And it turns out that the people went to vote in order to express what they want. And so anyone that's blaming Crin Antonescu, I think they're doing him a disservice, because I actually watched him during the presidential debates, and I think he did a good job. Let me put it this way. I don't think that any other person in his position, in his situation, could have done a better job. I think if they went with a different candidate, and those who disagree with me, please correct me if I'm wrong, right? They could have gone with any other person on planet Earth, and they would have gotten less percentages than Crin Antonescu. So, like, him as a person, I don't blame. You know, I don't think that he did a bad job. I don't think that he did bad at the speeches. However, due to the fact that he is representing the establishment due to the fact that he is running for president this year, and the whole cancellation happened this year, and it's a lot of people are associating it with the ruling parties. I don't think he could have won. I don't feel like if he can turn time back and say like literally whatever, or change his platform, or do anything, is going to get him to win. So the correct reason for why he didn't get into the second runoffs is due to the circumstances, due to the context. Has nothing to do with his platform, has nothing to do with him as a person. Again, if you change his platform, if you change him as a person, he would still not get into the second runoff. And so the question is like, who did get into the second runoff? And the answer is these two. So who are these two individuals? Well, the first one is, I guess like the international press will call him the sovereignist, right? Like he is the sovereign. Romania is a sovereign country. And the answer is like, yeah, according to the constitution, it is. Like every single Romanian should be pro-sovereignty based on the constitution. But I understand that, no, now you're either pro-Western, right? So you're for democracy, Western values, everything nice under the sun. Or you're a sovereign, a Putinist, right? Putinist. This is the adjective that I hear in the media a lot. I don't really know what it means. It's never explained. But it's a Putinist, a pupil of Putin, right? Like Vladimir Putin is training children from around the world, I understand, into his ideology, right? Like he's creating puppets, and he's spreading them in the world. And every nation on planet Earth, all of a sudden, you have an election now, the Putinist appears, right? Like he probably saw the future, looked at the web of time, and knew that in 2024, like his man is going to get into a place where he can be elected by the people. And he placed like key people in positions of power, and apparently this man may be one of them. All right. This other guy is the pro-EU candidate, right? So like EU means Europe, the continent, right? Like the institution and the continent have fused, and they are one and the same. There is no more difference between the land and Brussels. Like they have merged, right? And Brussels is the only entity on planet Earth capable of giving human rights, prosperity, and everything good under the sun. And so this is the propaganda that is being served on television non-stop. Up until now, the propaganda got this guy almost 41% of the votes, and this guy 21% of the votes. And I think the mainstream media is like, we're going to do more of the same. And so if they did it up until now, and they're going to keep doing it until the next elections, who do you think is going to win? Again, I'm just asking, I'm not telling. So, right now, the election campaign is this guy is going to go on TV, and or the people supporting him, the media, and they're going to be like, fascist, 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 Putinist, fascist, fascist. This other guy is going to go, and he's going to be like, global homo. George Soros. Global homo. Right? And this is the circus for the masses. This is what the masses like. Don't get me wrong. This is the way you need to run a campaign. Like when you have the voters, and I'm not going to say the Romanian people, it says that most people like this type of campaign. This is what they get, right? Is it useful? Does it sway voters? I don't fucking know. But whenever I turn on the TV, fascist, global homo, you know, like literally, non-stop. Like, okay. But the question is like, what do they actually believe in? Like, if you're a person coming to my channel and you're interested in more than fascismus, putinismus, like what do they actually believe? Fuck do they want? To sum it up, again, this is the oversimplification that I can find, because I actually listened to their previous debate with great interest. And surprisingly, both candidates have kind of like the same platform on many issues. Like on many issues, they agree. It's just that the way they're packaging the message is different for their side right? Like one is packaging the message in like global homo, global homo. The other one is packaging the message in like Putinist, fascist, fascist, yeah. But they kind of want the same shit. Sometimes the way they want to get to that place is a little bit different. Like, for instance, when it comes to fixing the economy, one of them wants to increase taxes, the other one wants to fire more people from the government. But they want to fix the economy, right? Like, both of them want to fix the economy. Both of them want to fix corruption. Both of them, right? And so, like, what is the major difference then? What is the biggest thing that separates the man on the left from the man on the right? And I think that the major issue is like, who should Romania align itself with for the next 4 years? I think this is the topic of the whole election that most people don't articulate because they're like, fascist, global homo, fascist, George Soros. The question, who Romania aligns with, is very important because Romania is a small nation. We're not a superpower. We're not even a regional superpower. We're a medium to small sized nation. And so most of our safety throughout the entire existence of the country, throughout the entire human experience, since Adam and Eve all the way till today, has relied on allying ourselves with one empire to protect us from the others. Like, Romania geographically was a nation trapped between 4 empires. We got trapped by the Ottomans, the Austro-Hungarians, the Russians, so on and so forth, right? Like, throughout history, we had to balance some empires against some others. We had to swallow our pride in some ways in order to benefit others. Like, this is constant. And so, who are the empires that we need to balance now for our advantage as Romanians? Well, on one hand, you have the United States, which is guaranteeing us protections. We're in NATO. We have NATO bases here. They're the ones that are guaranteeing our military safety, which is incredibly important, especially nowadays with what's happening over the border. And the other empire is the European Union, which we are a member state of, which can put fines and levies against us, which can pass legislation in order to hurt us, which is the ones that are investing in our country, right? So, like, we need to make sure that we play ball with both of them. This is realpolitik. It doesn't matter what we think ideologically. It doesn't matter what we like. It doesn't, right? Like this is reality. You are a nation trapped between these two juggernauts, and if one of them wants to fuck you, you're fucked. And this has been like the history of Romania, constantly. You don't get much of a say when you're the little guy at the table. You gotta play ball. Doesn't mean you have to play ball 100%, but what it means is that you can't change human history. Like, you're trapped within the context of geography, which is true for most European nations, right? And so we have Nicu Șordan, the man on the left. He believes that, again, for the next 4 years, like, this is not until the end of time, he believes that for the next 4 years, it's best if Romania aligns itself with Brussels. He believes that if Romania plays ball with the European Union, it's going to help us out through the upcoming financial crisis. It's going to invest more in our countries. It's not going to fine us. It's not going to view us as an enemy. It's not going to view us as a threat. Because regardless of what you think, if you like or dislike the European Union, if the European Union wants to fuck us, we're fucked. Okay? So, like, he's basically saying we need to appease the European Union. We need to play nice with them. We need to do what they say so they don't fuck us up more than they can. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, but, like, they're already having policies, environmental. Yeah. This is when they don't want to fuck you. Like, this is when they're playing nice. But they can start playing even worse, right? Like, if you have a financial crisis and they start issuing fines and levies and shit, well, do you think the crisis is going to go better or worse? And, like, talking from a realistic point of view, but, like, the problem is you can't talk like that because many people then immediately go, it's like, oh, but don't you know what the European Union is doing, and how can you support, how can you allow, how can you, it's like, yeah, I know, yeah, but do you know what Romania's powers are on the international scales? Do you know what we can do at an international scale, right? Can we match their strength? Do we have the allies? Do we have the resources? Oh, idealism is excellent. Yes, I'm pretty sure we can go to Brussels with ideals and our morality, and then they can just continue fighting us until we're bankrupt like Greece. Come on. The other guy believes that the United States is the answer. Again, this doesn't mean that you pick one over the other exclusively, but what it means is do you realign yourself to the point where you're trying to please one more or the other? Because we are heading towards some difficult times. The United States and the European Union seem to be at an ideological impasse. They're disagreeing with many things. They're tariffing each other, right? You as a nation is having at one point to pick, because there is going to be decisions in the future that are contradictory. Brussels wants something, the United States wants something else. And so, which one do you pick? And Georgia Simeon, the man on the right, is suggesting that it's actually better to pick the United States. He views the United States as being more stable. He views the United States as more important because we have NATO bases here. And he views the United States as better to work with if you're allying with Trump than if you're against him. And so the Romanian citizens now have to vote. Do you align with the European Union or do you align with the United States? The question is who do you align with for the next 4 years? Sorry, 5. The next 5 years, right? Who do you align with for the short time? Because in 5 years, we reassess. No one knows what happens in 5 years. Maybe in 5 years, you can repick. But right now, currently, for the short time period, while Romania is in an economic crisis, is the European Union going to try to save us from the economic crisis by not passing new legislation that messes with our industry, by not issuing more fines, by not trying to fuck with our politicians, by not trying, right? By not sending its NGOs to destabilize us? Is the European Union going to do that? Is it going to be kind-hearted and look at us and be, here's some money, Sonny, go and fix your economy? Is the European going to do that within the next couple of years? Is the United States going to protect us? If push comes to shove, if the Russians are testing the border, if there's a conflict between Brussels and the United States, and the United States wants to pull away the military, will it pull it away from our country or not? Will there be, Brussels, go fuck yourselves, but we like Romania, they're our friends, they've always been there, we're going to make an exception for them? This is the question that is being asked. Can you trust the European Union? Can you trust the United States? And it's important to point out, can you trust the United States under Trump? Because are you going to end up like Canada? That's the thing that a lot of people in the international community from other nations are actually afraid of. Because one day everything is good. One day the situation is normal and everyone thinks it's great. The next day, I want Greenland, I want Canada, I want, And sure, there may be legitimate reasons for it. They're not treating us fairly, they're not doing this and that and that. How do I know that Romania is treating America fairly right now, huh? Can anyone tell me from the MAGA movement, is Romania treating America fairly? Because I don't fucking know, and I don't want to find out. I'm not criticizing, this is not, no deal criticism. It's a legit question that people have to ask now. Do we as Romanians treat America fairly? If we're getting attacked, will America help us? Because this is the decision we're making right now. Are we with America or are we with Brussels? I mean, theoretically, we're with both. But if they start to argue, who do we back? Right? This is a question that we gotta ask because we don't know. And the answer is, is Romania treating America fairly? I want to know the answer to that. Because based on that answer, a lot of people here are going to change their mind. And they're going to vote based on what they hear. Right? Again, us as Romanians have no say in how Romania is treating America. I hope that Romania is treating America fairly. If there's any legislation that they would ask me on, and it would be this actually will end up treating America unfairly, I'll be no, I don't want to support that. But the reality is I don't make the laws, right? I just vote. And so are we treating it fairly right now? I hope we are. And so this is the major difference between the candidates, right? So which one is the correct choice? The correct choice is not based on who I will vote with, because the answer is I genuinely don't know the correct choice. I don't know if in 4 years the European Union isn't going to actually have its own military and start being a more important regional player, and they're going to have their economy starting to grow. And, I genuinely don't fucking know. I don't know if the United States is going to stay firm on its engagements to my country if we're treating America fair. I don't know. And so it's a gamble. I think both choices separated from their candidates, just like, asking people, should we align with the US or should we align to the European Union? I think both choices can be argued by an individual with the reasons on for and against. And so people voting based on this, I can't fault them. Now, of course, there's also the personality of the candidates. Like, some people trust one more than the other. Speaking of fascism, I haven't lived through fascism, right? Like, I wasn't in World War II, in Benito Mussolini's Italy. I haven't experienced fascism. But I did experience the pandemic. When I was told to stay in my house, and if I want to go out, I need to show papers, documents. If I want to go to McDonald's, documents, papers. I had the media turn my own family against me. I had the audacity to be forced to show the QR code to the guy sitting at McDonald's. The security guard at McDonald's was asking me for my papers. I had my favorite restaurant shut down. People around me lost businesses. Yeah, I haven't experienced fascism, but I did experience that. And I do remember the type of people that were there and were arguing for my rights. While people were getting censored online, there was one party that was arguing for my rights. And so, does that matter for the voter? I think it does. I think that matters a lot for the voter, because people hope that the voter has forgotten those dark times. Or that those times weren't so dark. Well, it depends for every individual person. They have different reasons. And many people, didn't like that. And so I guarantee to you, like, a big percentage of the vote is going to be influenced by that. And so if we look at the percentages, this guy on the right has got 41% of the vote. This guy on the left, 21%. Really difficult to catch up with such a huge margin. Very, very difficult. Not impossible in politics. Extremely difficult. Now, this guy has also promised to name as prime minister the previous guy, Georgescu, who had the election canceled. Right? Like, the Constitutional Court said, no, he can't run for president. Like, they canceled the election in order to prevent him from running for president. He's basically saying, if I get elected, I will name him prime minister. According to the Romanian constitution, he can name him prime minister twice, and if the parliament doesn't confirm, he can dissolve the parliament, which means we get another round of elections. I think that the parliament won't want to be dissolved. I think that they will probably pick him as prime minister, simply because most people in parliament, they like their seats. And so new elections, especially with his score, like 41% of the vote, we may have Georgescu as prime minister. That's a prediction. If Simeon gets elected, it is possible that we may have him as prime minister. He also wants to make a referendum. He wants to do everything in his power to make him president. So, like, that's also part of his campaign. That's also something that he is promising to people. And that's also something that's obviously, going to influence the next vote. And so what's interesting is that neither of them are part of the mainstream political parties. They're not from the Social Democrats. They're not from the National Liberals. And so we do notice this change in Romania, where politics is moving away from the traditional sense where both parties are kind of the same and people vote based on, who brings them mici and beer, as used to say. Like, they would go village to village with various packages of food, packages of alcohol, and would be like, vote for us and you're going to get more. Right? Like, that was the mentality up until now, when Romania was a poor country. Now, Romania is not so poor, and they're starting to have an ideology. Right? So I do think that USR and our are going to be the two mainstream parties moving forward. While the Social Democrats and the National Liberals, they're going to have smaller numbers, and a lot of their members are probably going to go into our, and they're probably going to go into USR. This is my prediction. For the next 5 to 10 years, I definitely think this is going to happen. And so, yeah, like, this is who's running off for president. Again, the guy that's supporting, that's allying itself more with the United States way of viewing things, managed to secure himself 41% of the vote, while the other guy has 21%, and the four establishment candidate didn't endorse anyone. It's going to be very difficult for Nicu Șordan to catch up with this huge margin. Again, not impossible, but we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully now you understand a little bit more about what the candidates are proposing. I try to remove as much as possible of the arguments that are for the masses, you know, fascism, global homo, okay, I try to remove those. I tried to remove the personalities and what they did in the past, and I tried only to focus on their ideological view. I tried to stay as neutral as I could, but I still had to say a little bit about what I think about the strengths and weaknesses of both candidates when it comes to their vision. Right? Is the United States something that Romania should support over the European Union, or should we support the European Union over the United States? If anyone tells you that they know for sure, they're lying. Because chances are the European Union and the United States can go into an actual trade war. And, you can end up supporting a country that doesn't support you. You can end up supporting the European Union that has different views and visions and thinks that your candidate is inefficient. And so they may start sending fines, right? Like they're doing with Hungary, like they're doing with Poland. Like you can end up on that side of the road. Or you can end up supporting a different candidate that, doesn't care about you. Like when they're finding that when they're putting tariffs, they're tariffing you as well. Right? It is what it is. We'll see. People will go vote, and we'll see if the decision was correct. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.